I have with me here John, our salmon expert here at Ellis Creek. John, can you tell us more about the salmon that come back to Puget Sound streams?
My name's John Rosenberg, and I'm not so much of a salmon expert as much as a salmon steward. And I'm going to bring in my friend Miles here to help me remember the 5 species of Puget Sound salmon that we see in our part of the world. So the first one is chum, which is thumb. The second one is sockeye. The third one, the big finger, is king or chinook.
The ring finger is silver or coho.
Silver or coho, and the last one is
pink.
pink. So those 5 species in all of Puget Sound. Thanks for your help, Miles. Now we're going to talk about the 3 that we see around here the most. That'd be the chum, the coho, and the king or chinook. All of them come to our part of the world at different times of the year, mostly in the fall and in the winter. And they use different parts of the stream during that time. The chum usually use the lower part of the stream. They're not very good jumpers, but they are very good swimmers, and they're the ones that swim the farthest in the ocean. The chinook use the main stems of many of our rivers, and the coho are good leapers, and so they're usually upstream. One of the things that we use to think about these fish is a word called anadromous. And anadromous simply means that they run up. In other words, the adult salmon come back to the stream where they were born, and they swim upstream, and they find a place very close to where they were born in the gravel of that river, and they lay their eggs there, and then they begin life in that gravel. And depending on what species they are, they stay in the gravel for a certain amount of time. I brought a little prop along here. They're usually eggs like this, and as they are in that gravel, if it's well oxygenated and it has all the things they need, they gradually develop. It's kind of a function of water temperature and time, until they become what we call alevins, and they still have the egg yolk on them. And they stay in the gravel, and at a certain point they come out of the gravel as fry, and then they start to move downstream, and they move into the estuary, which is a very important place where fresh water and salt water mix together, and they go through a very massive kind of a change to be able to now live in salt water. The reason why they go to the ocean is because there's so much more food for them there. And they grow from maybe this big, 6 inches, to anywhere from 5 to 25 pounds, depending on the species and depending on the year. And they stay out there anywhere from a year to 5 years, and then they come back to the place where they began their lives, and they start the cycle all over again. If you go to a place where salmon have been spawning, one of the things you'll notice is a lot of dead salmon carcasses, which are really very important for the ecology of the streams. They not only provide food for the young, but they provide nourishment for about, I think we now figure about 137 different species of plants and animals in the forest. And so really the rainforests were produced for us by the salmon. So they're a really important species, both in the ocean, where they're a food source for things like killer whales, orcas, and also their dead bodies as they're back in the streams to provide nourishment for plants and animals.
If you're interested in learning more about salmon or becoming a volunteer for Stream Team, go to www.streamteam.info for more information. Oh my gosh, it's so good.